Good morning, Berkeley engineers. Welcome to sunny California. It really is, most of the time, I promise. Again, my name is Beth Levin. For those of you I didn't meet last night, I'm the Director of Academic Affairs for the Fung Institute. I also did a one-year master's degree. It's intense, it's awesome, but I can certainly relate to your experience. I've also worked here at Berkeley for over 15 years, half of my career at the business school, half of engineering, which means I can help you mix both fields. So we are thrilled to have you here with us today. And again, congratulations for being admitted to our one-year accelerated Master of Engineering program. This year's incoming class comes to us from all around the world, citizens of 48 different countries and regions. And we have admits here today traveling from around the world. So you can raise your hand if I say your country. Costa Rica. Awesome. France. Did anyone from France make it? No. Germany. Canada. China. India. Japan. Mexico. South Korea. The UK. Taiwan. And New Zealand. Anyone make it here from New Zealand? Oh, he's here. Awesome. Great. All right. You are an exceptionally qualified group of students with 7 different home departments within engineering that come together to form a stellar interdisciplinary cohort. This cohort boasts a high level of academic achievement and excellent research and work experience. You've made the decision to consider Berkeley, a world-renowned engineering institution, for an opportunity to access the dynamic culture of excellence, international community, innovation, and leadership that is uniquely Berkeley. We are proud of our distinguished faculty and alumni that make Berkeley a world-class institution. The worldwide Berkeley engineering community includes more than 62,000 alumni in more than 114 countries and all 50 states. Berkeley engineers have literally built this state, from its transportation system and aerospace industry to the high-tech powerhouse that is Silicon Valley. In addition, each department in the College of Engineering is recognized for excellent teaching and research. Silicon Valley's dynamic technology ecosystem is right next door. To further emphasize the key differentiators of the Berkeley MEng, I'd like to introduce your faculty director, Professor Lee Fleming. He's a... Thank you. Professor Fleming is a faculty member in the IEOR department, that's Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, and the faculty director of the Fung Institute. And he is one of the teachers of our engineering leadership courses and develops the Master of Engineering Business and Leadership curriculum. His research investigates how managers can increase their organization's chance of inventing a breakthrough through collaboration, integration of scientific and empirical search strategies, and recombination of diverse technologies. So prior to coming to Cal, he was a professor at Harvard Business School. Welcome, Lee.
So, excellent. So welcome once again, congratulations. And I'm sorry, I forget about the weather, it's really awful. So let's, how do I push through this? So I bet you that you've all heard of Steve Wozniak, one of the founders of Apple. He probably sat in one of these seats at some point while he was here at Cal. And he's sort of the engineer's engineer. And even he said, you know, I really wish that I'd had some more skills in terms of communicating, in terms of advocating for my product, for my ideas. And he's said that you've got to have these skills to be a successful engineer. And current CEOs and leaders in Silicon Valley have talked about, they came to Berkeley and they said, we need engineers who have more than just the technical. You've got to have the technical, but you have to have more. And that's essentially why this program was developed. And by the way, it was developed about 10 years ago, and I'll introduce you to the person who enabled that. of you have asked me, I've also been accepted to a Master of Science. Why should I do this program? This slide is a very good illustration of that. At the bottom, technical specialization, we're still engineers. You're going to get a degree from Berkeley Engineering, a master's degree. You've got to be top-notch technically, really, really sharp. It's an engineering degree, and there's no doubt about that. On the top, we also layer on some business and some leadership. Maybe a mini MBA, it's a very, very brief exposure, but it'll help you learn the language of business. It'll help you learn how to work with business people, and give you an idea of how business people think. And then to pull these two things together, and this is the secret sauce of this program, is the capstone. It's an experiential project, often with an industry partner, where you take your business and your leadership concepts, you take your classes on how to collaborate and work together, and then you also take your technical specialization and you put it together in the capstone. This is not easy to do, and this is the real differentiator. And when you ask us, why should I do this program rather than a Master of Science, think about this slide. Now with this slide, it's harder to do this. It's all integrated. You're not going to get much sleep next year. It's very intense. But this will enable you. This is an enabling degree. So a lot of you, we have a network of close to 1,000 alums in the Valley now. You can go out and have a fantastic career in industry. This is also an enabling degree if you're thinking about a PhD. It will expose you. You can choose a capstone, which is a more research-oriented capstone, and you could then apply for a PhD. We have a lot of students go that route every year. We have a lot of students ultimately go back for their MBA and write those recommendations. We also have students going into law and government. So this is very much an enabling degree which can allow you to explore a lot of different options for your career. So you're going to be talking more about each of these in detail as the day go on. But the MEng is fundamentally a collaborative degree. Almost everything you do here will be with your fellow students. And it can be a lot of fun as you see the smiles there. We mentioned the capstone projects. Many of them do have industry backing. They are intended to bridge and give you a technical and a business or societal challenge. Again, technical depth. We are Berkeley engineers. You're getting a graduate degree from one of the best engineering schools in the world. We're not going to cut any corners on the technical depth. The idea also, after you have your MEng, is that you're going to be much more quickly considered for those leadership positions. Rather than becoming a purely technical person, the one that always runs the numbers, but doesn't get a chance to explore how those numbers affect the world, the idea of the MEng is that you will more quickly be considered and moved into those management and those leadership positions. Finally, we have 7 different engineering disciplines in the room here. Your capstones, if you choose a capstone, can be from across the disciplines. And you'll get a chance to work with a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different people. So what my job, or part of my job, is to actually work with our team to architect and build and design the business and leadership aspect. That's what this slide is about. So you're going to get here 2 weeks ahead of each semester for just MEng curriculum. And in the fall, it's going to be organizational behavior and negotiations. And also, what it's like to work in an R&D environment, technology management, and technology ethics. You'll have those 2 classes together. And then you'll move into your fall semester. You'll have, these are all 1-unit classes. You'll have another two 1-unit classes. You'll talk about how to work together, how to run project management, and also communications, mainly a written communications course in the fall. But it's very short, and most of your fall during this semester will be technical. In the spring, you have more choices. You can choose some electives. You can choose marketing, technology, strategy, entrepreneurship, sort of an industry analysis. We're looking at other courses as well in law and a bunch of other areas. And in the semester during the spring, we talk about how to take, we talked about communications collaboration in the fall. Now we're taking you to how do you really function at a very, very high level. Oh, okay, now's the best part. So this is all possible because of someone's generosity, an alum of Berkeley IEOR, who came to us 12 years ago and said, you need this, and got the faculty and the dean behind it, and then was very generous in endowment of the program so we could get this underway. So I get to introduce this fellow. His name is Coleman Fung. He's a serial entrepreneur, a philanthropist, very generous philanthropist, as we can see around here, and also a photographer. How many of you have been over to Shires and seen those wonderful landscape frames? So those are all Coleman's, actually. So now, surprisingly, he was a supply specialist in the U.S. Army, and his first assignment was at the Coleman Barracks in Mannheim. So and from there, he went on to IEOR here, and supply chain operations was his interest. He also got a degree across the bay at that other school. And my degrees are from that department as well, so we share that. He became a derivative trader for Wall Street banks, and he's hedging interest rate risk. Now, he hastens to add very quickly that he was not responsible for the 2008 meltdown. Indeed, he was actually gone from that business. In 1991, he founded OpenLink, which is a trading and risk management and a logistics solution provider. So it's still in use today, and it's used by some very big organizations, Bank of England, Bank of Canada, Shell, Chevron, Texaco. They use this to hedge their risk. So after OpenLink, he went ahead and founded more firms. His latest gig is Goji, and Charles and Kai Hong. They founded Guitar Hero. They are also Berkeley alums. 3 of them founded this new firm, Goji. And Goji has capstones, and so if you want to work with Coleman, and it's a very cool team, I would suggest that. So he'll tell you more about the fun stuff he has going on. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Coleman Fung.
Good morning, everyone. I hope the weather was better, but that's life. So I look forward every year to greeting you at the visit day because I get to talk about anything I like. So actually, initially, I was going to talk about a very funny but scary story on zombies and the movie The Matrix. Raise your hand if you haven't seen the movie. Okay. Well, the weather is so lousy, I didn't want to depress you more, so I'm going to wait until August when you come back and start your boot camp. So I want to talk about something a little bit more fun. Going back to Lee's, so Lee gave you a very good overview on the program. Now, since I was one of the original architects for the program, I'm going to share with you my non-academic, non-official take of how the program started. So first of all, you have to know the fact that I am very anti-old school, lecture-oriented learning. And why? Well, first of all, just way too many lectures and classes. Real-world challenges, they don't actually come nicely packaged in problem sets. And real-world challenges definitely don't come according to your departments. And here's the key. Neither do opportunities. So let me repeat that. Opportunities, they don't come according to what departments you're in or what problem sets you have studied. If you focus so much on just pure technical stuff, you're going to miss them. Yes, there's demand for different skills, but market demands are not opportunities. And also, I really, really dislike the classroom culture. To me, it's a legacy of some old model, but it actually creates and perpetuates this unhealthy environment that forces you guys to just think and compete. How do I get a better grade than my peers around me? Now, it's so ingrained. You've been conditioned since you were a little kid to outdo each other. It's at your subconscious level. You may not even realize it. But if you focus so much on your grades, how are you going to take risks? How are you going to actually push yourself into uncomfortable or unfamiliar spaces? If you're going to stay inside your bubble, how are you going to see opportunities? So that's really the reason why I push the envelope as much as I could to give you big enough a sandbox, like the capstone experience. This is where you have the opportunities to mix and mingle with students from other majors. Because in reality, you can't get things done by yourself. In real life, you need to work in teams. How do you build the teams? How do you build the best team possible? This is what you're going to learn. Not how to compete, just get a better grade. You need the hands-on experience. We invest so much in the program, you're going to get a lot more information later on. I mean, you have to take a 2-credit communication class because you may have the most brilliant idea, technical idea, but if you can't communicate effectively to your team, forget about to the rest of the market. Starting with your own team, if you can't get them to buy in, if you can't motivate them to get behind your idea, you may get somewhere, but it's not going to be the most effective way to get your idea done, right? So in the end, I need you to really think about this program versus a traditional class-based program, which there are many. It's a lot more work. In fact, it took a lot of effort. It seems like no-brainer now, but back in the day when I first pushed for this idea, I have a lot of resistance. From traditional, very old-fashioned faculty members that actually make statements like, I am sabotaging the wonderful, stellar graduate program at Berkeley. So I have my fair share of slings and arrows coming my way. But in the end, I'm very happy to, of course I can't get rid of all the classes, but the fact that now we have the capstone experience combining with the new sort of, not new, but new for engineering school, case study boot camps of all these key business, leadership, entrepreneurship, core business skill, so that you can capture the opportunities. So I want you to think about, that's really the key reason why we push this. I have had many experiences working with engineers, non-engineers. I see the potential, but if you don't take risks, if you don't step up, you know, the best idea will just bury down somewhere. So now, as Lee mentioned, Blue Goji is also a key capstone partner. So we actually have really 2 wonderful teams, and I want to share some of the fun. We have 2 teams. The first one is Team Infinity. So they are using our patented treadmill to actually capture all the sensor data built in. Well, why do you need all that information? Because this is really a rehab platform so that we can actually help patients recover from whatever injury they have in a very unique way. So right now, most of the rehab is just physical. But combining with the VR, I have full integration of cognitive, vision, audio, balance, motor, and memory. So I can create game-like environment to help them recover. As I hope you know, our brains is very flexible. We can develop new network. And this is a new way for us to look at how we can recover some of these mental faculties without using drugs. The next team is Team Velocity. He is Teddy. He's from Iceland. So we have students from Iceland pretty much every year. It's pretty impressive considering they only have 300,000 people. So I think we have probably the most per capita. So the team is developing this bike. Again, you can see the aesthetic and design. So we have this special tether design so that we can create environment in the game so that you can get up, on and off, standing up on the bike without falling off and without holding onto the handlebar. So they've done a very good job. For that, they were actually visiting Austin during South by Southwest and helping me out at the booth. No, they really just doing a lot of stuff, attending. So what do we actually do at Blue Goji? So I'm going to show you a little bit. I think you need to click.
Looking for a green light, 1 minute and 26 seconds.
So these guys are actually getting ready to race each other. If you look at the monitor, they are actually doing the race. So this is the first demo of what we call active esport.
There's a lot of twists and turns out here, folks, but you know what? They ran the course once before, and we got a close second. Somebody's coming right behind them. We're looking for one fast time.
This guy actually fell off.
I wasn't expecting that. It looked like it hurt. There we go. Man helmet is still going. We got somebody already approaching that uphill just past the helicopter. Let's go. Stay out of this sand if you want good times. We're looking for a faster time than 1 minute and 26 seconds. We're going head to head for the opportunity to win $1,000 at the Infinity Esports Active Esports Tournament. Let me tell you right now, if you think this is an easy race.
So this is actually at the show called Ursa in San Diego earlier in the month. It's a trade show for all the cardio equipment, for the rehab facility, for gyms. So one guy just fell off. So they're actually getting very close. Look, one guy's going to pass. So this is what we do. It's active esport. It's a new concept. But again, it's not just for the fun. Imagine, so I talk about rehab. That's one side of the coin. We are helping people recovering the mental facilities. But the other side of the coin is for aging. As you know, populations within all the developed countries, as well as China, basically is aging rapidly. And the challenges of maintaining high quality of life, especially larger number of people suffering from Alzheimer and other dementia-like. Now, I don't have the proof yet, but our goal, again, combining that immersive mental, cognitive gameplay with physical movement, we hope to preserve the mental facility for as long as possible. And so that's, again, even though my background is in finance and software development, but for me, I want to take more risks. I want to do something I have no idea. And so I can create something completely out of the box. Yes, there's a lot of challenges. And as I learned, talking to doctors, physical therapists, they have no idea how to apply this. So I think, you know, Leah and I have been talking. We'd like to set up a new active esport lab at Fung. We're going to provide seat grants to students for capstone or other professors to actually really develop this model. In fact, we can probably organize some college-level competitions. I know there's already a lot of esport, just sitting on your butt and playing games. But imagine we can actually create a new types of tournaments so that we're not asking them to become elite athlete, but we want them to really combine the focus, the game mind, with a bit of physical. So maybe they need to sprint for 10 seconds in order to, but then still maintain that game-like challenges. So there's a lot of exciting stuff, but one thing I want to highlight for the program, this is a program for doer. You need to do things. So it's not just sitting in class and getting your degree. So I have one more example of the type of wonderful project that our MN student they're doing or did for this year. So you can skip this one. Actually, this is a 91-year-old gentleman playing the game, so that's the active aging part. So we have a team of MN students just on their own, enter into some boot camp, some hackathon on campus, sponsored by Bose VR or AR, and their project actually won their hackathon, and then they actually enter into the nationwide challenge. And so they were one of 4 teams selected as the finalists, and they were invited to come to the South by Southwest. And 2 of those guys are actually on my project team. And so I was there to cheer for them. And here's the thing, they are the only student team. The other 3, one guy is a Hollywood, sound, expert, and then the other 2 guys are actually companies funded by the Capital Factory, which is a venture fund. Guess what? Our team won. Can you? So at the end, when we were laughing, one of them said, "Do you feel like a popper?" You know what? I do. And I really enjoy being there to harass you guys, to support you guys, to cheer for you guys. So I hope you can join the big family later. Thank you.